TY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, South Florida. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show, where we have, for the last 16 years, we bring you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. I wanted to kind of surprise our expert coming on, Tom Olson. My brother-in-law is an estate planning attorney in Dallas, Texas. And once in a while, he tunes in to some of our shows, but because he's an estate planning attorney, he has started tuning into Tom Olson, attorney Tom Olson show with Florida Senior Planning PA. And he wrote me an email the other day because he saw the show was coming up today. And he said, "You got a winner. His knowledge is so amazing. And I even find myself listening to his show longer than I started out." What a compliment from another estate planning attorney. Let me bring you attorney Tom Olson. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Steve, and all of your loyal listeners in South Florida.
Hey, I got to tell you, we get numbers of views from YouTube, and your numbers have just been off the wall. So there's a lot of people out there, and I think iHeart and our Spotify have the most listeners. But Tom, people love the way you explain how estate planning works.
First of all, I want to thank your brother for those kind words. It's always nice to hear them coming from another lawyer. Steve, I've been doing this for 45 years, so there's no substitution for experience. When I was a brand new lawyer in 1981, I had the privilege of practicing law with my father, Robert Olson. And for the first couple of years, all I did was to sit with him and his clients and listen to him answer questions for people and give them good advice. I remember thinking way back then, how will I ever know as much as my father knows about the law? And I think I'm getting there finally, Steve.
I think what it is, Tom, people who are watching go, he looks too young to be practicing law that long.
I appreciate it. I chalk it up to stress-free living, Steve. That's my advice to all the people out there. Don't worry about it. It is what it is.
Tom, every time I see somebody young passing away, I wonder, did they have a plan? Because people procrastinate, people wait, and this is a very tender subject when we talk about estate planning. And I want people to know this is a South Florida show, but you handle all of Florida, not just South Florida. Correct. Tell us about Florida Senior Planning.
So Florida Senior Planning, we assist clients throughout the state of Florida, wherever you happen to be, from the Keys to Pensacola. We can handle your estate planning, wills, trusts, avoiding probate, powers of attorney. So, Steve, there are probably at least two classes of people out there. Number one, people who recognize, I really should get my estate planning done. It's on my to-do list. It's been there for quite a while. Well, let me say it's time to jump in, because at Florida Senior Planning, we know how to make the process very, very simple. You're going to walk out of here very pleased with the process. And it's going to be a big weight off your shoulders, knowing that you have done the right thing and gotten it done to make things simple, easy, inexpensive for your kids when you pass away. The other class of people, Steve, are people that did their wills and even trusts years ago, and they went home, they stuck them in a drawer somewhere. They haven't looked at them since, and they're thinking, hey, I saw a lawyer way back in the day. I must be good to go, aren't I? Well, that's probably not true. So we invite you to pull out your existing wills and trusts. You can send them to us, meet with us, fax them to us, email them to us. We will review them for free, make sure that you are still good to go, or what changes might need to be made. Steve, people out there that say, Tom, I've got a will. I'm okay, aren't I? Well, remember, a will has nothing to do with avoiding probate. A will simply directs what happens to your assets when they go through probate. People want to avoid probate because it's expensive and takes a long time. So, yeah, you need a will. That's part one. But part two, we need to take you through the steps to avoid probate on your assets here in Florida.
You know, Tom, I can't believe many of the questions we get are people asking about power of attorney and hurting loved ones' feelings who aren't chosen. Any recommendations? Any thoughts?
Yeah, and just one follow-up thing too, Steve, is that a lot of your listeners out there, they live in Florida, but a lot of people might be vacationing here right now. They live in another state, but they own a
Mm,
condo in Florida or they own a timeshare
yes.
in Florida. Well, you need to avoid probate on that condo or in that timeshare in Florida. So if you live in South Carolina, great. You did your estate planning documents in South Carolina. Now we need to take the next step and avoid probate on your Florida real estate or timeshare. We can help you out with that. Steve, it is getting more and more and more common where somebody died in another state. The family finds out that they owned a timeshare in Florida. Got to break the bad news to them. It's going to require probate to get that timeshare out of mom or dad's name and into the names of kids. We need to make steps to that. Steve, when we do estate planning for document people, we do 4 basic documents. Again, we're Florida Senior Planning. Check us out, floridaseniorplanning.com. And by the way, we have lines available to you right now. You can call our office right now at 407 423 5561. And when we do the 4 basic documents, a will, a living will, a healthcare surrogate, and a financial power of attorney, only one of those documents has to do with what happens when you pass away. That's your will. The other 3 documents, the living will, pull the plug document, healthcare surrogate, financial power of attorney, those are all documents that are needed and used during your lifetime. So if you were in a car wreck and you were comatose or you developed Alzheimer's, you might live for many years where you're not able to make your own healthcare decisions for yourself or you're not able to pay your own bills. That's what the healthcare surrogate, financial power of attorney do for you. And they're absolutely critical that you get to choose somebody to do those things for you. When we're doing these documents for a client, they might have 4 kids, and we're saying, look, we want to choose the best child who might honestly and diligently pursue paying your bills and manage your financial affairs. Choose the best child that might be best for making healthcare decisions for you. Maybe they got a daughter who's a nurse and a son who's a financial planner. Well, it's not an award. We're really choosing who could do that job the best for you. Sometimes people say, hey, I got a child that lives nearby. I got another child that lives in California. I'm going to choose a child that lives nearby because they live nearby. Well, that's not important because we can do business by mail, email, fax. So it doesn't matter whether your child lives 5 minutes from you or on the other side of the country. Choose the best one that can do these jobs for you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Hey, Tom, would you touch on? I don't think many people understand about long term care and how expensive it gets and how they can do something about that right now by contacting your office.
Exactly, Steve. So, long term care, also known as a nursing home, also known as a skilled nursing facility, they are about $15,000 a month. So, as your
Mhm.
listeners, when you hear these words, you're out there talking to your friends and family and neighbors and coworkers, and you hear these words, oh, mom fell, she broke her hip. She went to rehab. We thought she was going to go home, but now she's got to go to a skilled nursing facility, a nursing home. It's $15,000 per month. Everything she's ever worked for down the drain. Nothing we can do about it. 5-year look back period. No. At Florida Senior Planning, we have all the legal tools to protect your wealth from the cost of a nursing home and have the state of Florida pay for it. Not only the home you live in, but your vacation home, your rental properties, your commercial property, your savings, IRAs, annuities, you name it, we can protect it and have the state of Florida pay for your nursing home. Now, while we're doing that planning for you and that asset protection for you, We're also going to get you qualified for the Florida Waiver Program. The Florida Waiver Program is meant to keep you out of a nursing home. It will provide you up to 30 hours per week of free in-home care, like cooking, like cleaning, bathing, activities of daily living, taking you to doctor's appointments, all those things when you need it. When you're ready for that, the state of Florida is going to interview you. They're going to rate you on a scale of 1 to 5. Well, 1 means you don't need it very much. 5 means it's like a Disney Fast Pass. They put you top of the line. When you're ready to do that interview, we're going to coach you and tell you what the questions are. We're going to give you advice on how to answer them accurately for your best chance to rate a 5. So, Steve, everybody wants to stay at home as long as they can. People out there are thinking, hey, I want to stay home. I just need a little bit of help. Or maybe you've got a senior parent that lives here in Florida. You're helping them and you say, look, I want to keep doing this. I want to keep them at home, but I need a little bit of help to take care of my parents. This Florida Waiver Program would be perfect for you, Steve. We have more information. We can mail you free booklets on how to get free in-home care, how to protect your wealth from the cost of a nursing home. You can get those booklets at floridaseniorplanning.com, or you can call our office right now and we'll mail those booklets to you. 407-423-5561.
Speaking of family, we just got a text in from New York, Greg in Manhattan. I listened to your show because my mother lives in Davie in South Florida. I have really enjoyed listening to your show. I am coming down in May. Is it best that I bring my mother with me, or should I come by myself?
I think you should bring mom with you, but otherwise we're just guessing at what mom might want. So yeah, mom should be part of that process. And by the way, we offer a free initial consultation to talk about your estate planning. We can do that initial consultation in person, over the phone, via Zoom. It couldn't be more simple. So, Steve, during COVID, we got used to doing consults over the phone, and we've continued on doing that way, or by phone or by Zoom. So I would suggest that your texter take us up on our free initial consultation. We can do it by phone. And yeah, mom needs to be part of that process. She needs to be involved so she can be making some of these decisions.
He also has a follow-up question wanting to know, what does a trustee do?
So a trust is a tool for avoiding probate. Again, people want to avoid probate because it's expensive and takes a long time. When I do a trust for somebody, they are the initial trustee. As long as they're alive, they are the trustee. They're in charge. They can do whatever they want to. In this trust, they name a successor trustee who becomes trustee when they pass away. That successor trustee, their job would be to pay the mom's creditors, doctors, hospitals, credit cards, file a final income tax for mom, and then pass out the assets to the siblings or whoever is getting those assets under the trust. And then that's typically it's over. So a typical trust administration might be done within a few months. It's like doing a probate, but it's not under the control of a probate court. It's private trust administration just between the successor trustee and the beneficiaries of the trust estate.
Well, Tom, we do other estate planning shows around the country. You're the only one who's brought up about the ladybird. And I think people need to understand about the ladybird.
So, Steve, a ladybird deed is a tool to avoid probate that you own in Florida. It can be your home, your vacation home, your rental property, your timeshare, your vacant property, your commercial property. And we could use a ladybird deed even if you have a mortgage on the property. It's a deed that Florida Senior Planning would prepare. It would state that as long as you're alive, it is your property to do with as you please. But when you pass away, your home would automatically go to your kids. No headaches, no hassles, no probate. The beauty of that deed is that you reserve the right to change your mind at a later date without your children's knowledge, signature, and consent. So if we do a ladybird deed for you today and you leave it to your 3 of your kids and you have a falling out with one of them, you want to change it to just 2 of your kids, you can do so without their knowledge, signature, and consent. If we do a ladybird deed for you today and 6 months from now you want to sell or refinance a property, you can do so without your children's knowledge, signature, and consent. So, Steve, not every state has ladybird deeds. Some states have a different type of deed called a transfer on death deed. So, different states are different. About 15 states in the U.S. literally use what's called a ladybird deed. Your state might have a ladybird deed, or they might have a transfer on death deed, but you need to check with an attorney in your state. Here in the state of Florida, we're using ladybird deeds to avoid probate on real estate.
Hope ladybird deeds are in Texas since it's ladybird. So let me ask you, we just got a question in, and this is a good question. This is from Mark and Boynton. Why is probate so expensive?
Well, the Florida statutes. The Florida statutes have right in the Florida statutes that they recommend a probate fee of 3% to the attorney and 3% to the executor of the estate. So if mom passes away and all she owns is a $400,000 home and a $100,000 CD, $500,000 going through probate, Florida statutes recommends an attorney fee of 3%, $15,000. An executor fee, personal representative fee of 3%, $15,000. So Florida statutes recommends $30,000 to run those assets through probate. Why? Because that's what the Florida statutes say. It's been that way for 45 years, Steve. It's never changed since I've been a lawyer in Florida.
Wow. What do you tell people who say, what is the difference in me doing my own will versus you doing the will?
Steve, it's the same as doing your own deed versus having a lawyer do it. When I look at a deed that was prepared by a layman or a will that's prepared by a layman, there's at least a 50% chance I'm going to find a mistake in there. If there's a mistake in your will, it's not properly witnessed or notarized, or the language is unclear about what happens, well, you're dead. You're not around to fix that problem anymore. But Steve, I would say this, that remember, preparing a will for the clients, that's only part one. That will is not going to avoid probate. So they need us, Florida Senior Planning, to give them advice on part two, avoiding probate. So Steve, I don't think it's preparing your own will. It's not an opportunity to cut corners. I'm going to recommend that you have an attorney do it for you. At Florida Senior Planning, Steve, we work on a flat fee basis. So Steve, for example, if we did the 4 basic documents for a single person, a will, a living will, pull the plug, a healthcare surrogate, a financial power of attorney, to prepare those 4 documents for a single person, it's only $900. If we do those 4 documents for a married couple, 4 for him and 4 for her, it's only $1,100. So Steve, it's not that expensive, and it's well worth the peace of mind to know that they were done properly.
This is from Wilma in Palm Beach Gardens. I really love this show. I've been listening for the last 3 months. Tom, I need your help. I want to get my mother in. She procrastinates about everything and tells me how healthy she is. Any suggestions I can use to get her to contact your office?
Well, I would suggest doing this, some quick math. She could approach your mom one day and say, look, Mom, you got a $500,000 house. You got $500,000 in savings and CDs and money markets. You got $1 million. Mom, did you know Florida statutes is going to recommend an attorney fee to run those assets through probate of $30,000 and an executor fee of $30,000? When you pass away, Mom, do you want $60,000 taken right off the top before it's ever passed out to your kids? Surely, Mom, that's not what you want. You've worked hard for your money all these years. You don't want $60,000 taken off the top. You want this money passed on to your kids without those fees. Now, the other thing I would say, Steve, is that I've been a lawyer for 45 years. Back in the day when mom or dad passed away, rare was the day that the kids would be arguing with each other over mom and dad's estate. These days, Steve, there's a 50% chance they're going to be arguing and a 25% chance they're never going to talk to each other again. So that when we do your estate planning at Florida Senior Planning, we're going to make things simple, easy, inexpensive for your kids when you pass away. So there's not going to be an opportunity or a reason for them to argue with each other when you pass away. So, for example, Steve, we're going to advise our clients to make your bank accounts POD, payable on death, to your 3 kids. When you make your bank accounts POD for the 3 kids and you pass away, any one of those kids can show the bank or credit union or investment company your death certificate, and they're going to write them 3 separate checks. See, what I found is that when mom and dad don't do this planning to avoid probate, and one of their children is appointed as the executor of the estate, well, this is a child ignores things, is not diligent, doesn't get things done on time, uses this probate to take advantage of their siblings and settle old scores. And so I'm going to get a typical call. It's going to go like this: Tom, my mom passed away a year ago. She appointed my older brother as the executor of the estate. Nothing's happening. I haven't seen a dime yet. He's not telling us anything. What do I do, Tom? Well, you're going to have to hire me. You're going to have to pay me money to go get the money that's due you from your mom's estate because your older brother is taking advantage of the situation and not doing the job right.
Yeah, no
You
kidding.
might sound kind of passionate about this, Steve. It just bugs the heck out of me that kids are doing this to their siblings. I don't understand it.
Tom, the great thing about this show is our demographic. We have an older demographic, which I am so proud of. And to have someone like your firm, like yourself, be able to direct people, and the letters that we get about your show, people love the way you explain. And in your area of law, that is so important when you're sitting down with the client, is how you explain estate planning to them.
Steve, that is part of our job description, is to explain things to people in a way that they can understand it. It is our goal 100% of the times that people will walk out of here with a full understanding of what it is, what we did for them and why we did it for them. When we do estate planning for people and we do the initial consultation and they retain us, and of course, we're explaining all these things to people, but they're going to get home and they're going to go, now, what did we do today? And why did we do that? Well, at this initial consultation, when they retain us, together with the client, we come up with an action plan. Before they leave, I put that action plan on a 1-page piece of paper, easy to understand. At the top of that action plan is a list of everything that Florida Senior Planning is going to do for you. At the bottom of that 1 page is what your homework is. So it's very clear for you to understand what you're supposed to be doing to take steps to avoid probate. So, Steve, if you're talking to your lawyer and they're explaining things to you in a way that you don't understand, it's time to get up and go. If you're talking to your estate planning lawyer, they say, we'd love to help you. Our hourly rate is only $450 an hour. It's time for you to get up and go. So for estate planning, it is not, you need to understand what's going on, and it needs to be done on a flat fee basis.
Tom, we have less than 30 seconds. Tell people how they can reach your office for the people who are listening and not watching on YouTube.
Check us out, FloridaSeniorPlanning.com. We assist clients throughout the state of Florida, from the Keys to Pensacola. We can do your estate planning, help you to avoid probate, help protect your assets from the cost of a nursing home, get you free in-home care for seniors. We have booklets on all of these topics. You can order them through FloridaSeniorPlanning.com or call our office right now or anytime, 407-423-5561.
Tom, we'll be back again with this month for another live show. Tom, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Steve.
That's attorney Tom Olson. And that's going to do it for us today. We'll be back in with you next week with more Ask the Experts.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.